So,
Episode
episode
11.
11.
Sorry, I jumped the gun there.
No, it's alright. It's alright.
How you going?
I'm doing good, bro.
Alright, what a start.
I know. No, it's good.
Oh man, we're here again.
Yes,
Exciting.
we are grinding it away,
Yeah.
doing our best to stick with our little project we were so excited for, and now it's become kind of like a little half job, a little bit.
I know, right?
Just a
I
little
mean,
bit.
it's
Not
still it's still
totally.
exciting because I think when you
I
say
get it.
job, it's like, fuck me dead.
Yeah, no, it's definitely
I usually relate job with like stuff I
Right.
don't want to do.
right.
I mean, this one's still.
Yeah, but it's just got
Honeymoon
that little bit
stages.
of like, you still gotta do stuff.
Oh yeah, you still
It's
gotta
not
do
like
shit.
it's just we just stick the shit up.
Yeah,
and
of
do
course,
it. It's
of
like,
course, of course.
sometimes it is a bit stressful.
Yeah, there's a lot of
It's
effort
getting
that
easier,
goes
though.
into it. Yeah, I think
It's
so
getting
too.
way easier,
I think so too.
I reckon. But I was just gonna ask
Mm-hmm.
first open up because I just reckon we should just have a little
Mm-hmm.
conversation just to get ourselves rolling. How's jiu-jitsu been going for you?
Oh, fucking hell. It's been going awesome.
Yeah.
I don't know why, just lately, I feel like I'm in the zone. I'm pulling off submissions I never thought I could pull off. But it's been pretty good, man. It's been excellent. Just seeing everyone there. Just feels like we're back into that sort
Yeah.
of routine again.
It does.
No, it feels good, man. And like we've been training, 3 days a week now? We've been training Tuesdays, Wednesdays and Thursdays. So that's been pretty good as well. Just sort of training during the day, in the morning on Wednesdays. That's been super.
Yeah, because
super
when
good as
when
well.
it came back, it did feel pretty weird. Like
Yes,
it wasn't
at
as
first,
normal
yeah.
as we remembered it, and it kind of was a bit. It like threw you off a bit,
Mm.
and it didn't feel like you were back at jiu-jitsu fully.
Mm,
You're
mm.
like, oh yeah, whatever.
But now it does.
And now it totally feels
Now it's
normal
just
again,
like
and we're having
back
open
in.
mat weeks.
Yes.
Like you just reminded me this morning.
Yes.
You're like, we're doing a freaking open mat
Yes.
today and tomorrow and Thursday, right?
Yeah,
like
that's
every
what I
lesson's
said.
basically an open mat. I'm like, oh my god.
We're going to
It's
be
gonna
dead
be
by
fucked.
the end of this week.
Yeah.
But
It's gonna be.
it's going to be
It's
awesome.
gonna be good. I don't think I'm gonna go Wednesdays anymore though.
Yeah.
It's too much.
It is.
I think that's just why.
I don't think, yeah,
Saps your energy just that little bit more.
I don't think I'll be going tomorrow either, just because I feel like I need a break this week. Because of 3 weeks in a row
Well,
now?
Thursday, if Thursday is an open mat, because we actually haven't done.
Mm.
Remember, the last Thursday open mat was cancelled.
That's right. Yeah.
So
that's
we
true.
actually haven't had 2 hours of straight positional rolling.
Yeah,
Whatever.
that's true.
So this
That's
Thursday
gonna
is going to
be-
be fucking.
So we need to rest and
This is
feel
going to be.
feel up on Wednesday.
Yeah, this is going to be a tough one.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be an excellent mental battle.
Mm.
Thursday, you're going to really be like, all right,
Mm.
settling in.
Mm.
It's going to annoy me though. It's the people who always turn up at the second half.
Yeah.
You're like,
all
oh, we're ready to
fresh
go,
and
and
shit,
you're
man.
like, you're like, I've already been here for
You're
an hour.
trying so hard not to pass out.
Yeah, and they're like, oh, cool, let's go, and they stick you with 2 freshies, and you're just like, oh shit, here we go.
They're going like all out and everything.
But that's
as
good.
well.
That's good, I reckon, because.
No, it's a good challenge, man. It's a good challenge. And we put ourselves in these sort of positions because, I don't know, me and you would both like a good challenge.
yeah.
I don't like a cruisy sort of...
We're a bit sadistic.
yeah,
I
in
don't-
a
I
way.
don't- I don't know how else to put it. It's like I will forcefully throw myself at the hardest guys I can find
Yeah,
that I
that's
know
true.
are going to make me miserable
Mm.
because
Because it's
That's
a
how you
challenge.
learn the most.
Exactly.
you're like, oh my, you don't want to come out of it being like, yeah, I fucked everybody up, because then it's like, well, you did well, but what did you learn? Like, did you learn how to do this or that? So yeah, I think you have the same.
Mm.
You're like, yeah.
And then then all of a sudden, you're not scared, but you're not intimidated anymore by...
Do you remember those feelings? I don't know about you, but I remember being scared of people like Kai Gatami, like John Wick, Callum. Like I used to be scared of Callum because he was just so full on and so strong. A lot of people like I used to be like scared to roll with, and then after a while, you're just like,
You
oh,
just
I'm not
don't
scared
care.
anymore.
Yeah,
Like I'm
you
not
don't-
scared anymore. The
You're like,
guys
yeah, I'll be cool. I know what's coming. I know what I can
Well, it's
do.
like
I know
you,
what
yeah,
I'm
it's like you get to
capable
a point where you're like, oh, I can. If it does get like heated and they're really going for something, I can make it so I'm not gonna get injured.
of. Yeah, I
Because
know how to make it safe
that's
for
mostly
myself.
the fear is
Mm.
like that you just get fucked up and like your shoulder pops or your knee gets hurt or something. But it's like, I think you and I are at a point now where it's like that fear's kind of gone.
Yeah.
Because it's like you roll with it. The fear always for me was with lower belts. It wasn't with like you roll with a blue belt. What are you scared of?
Yeah, exactly.
Except for Disney. I've
He's a
never been
purple
happy
belt,
rolling with him, man.
He
And it's the
just
most stressful
he just
shit
takes
ever.
you
Didn't
to
he just get his
school,
brown
man.
belt? Remember?
Oh yeah, he did too.
So
Yeah,
he's
he
even
did too.
deadlier.
Yeah, he's a brown belt. I haven't seen him for a while though.
No,
Yeah, well, he doesn't come
we
to the
wouldn't see him. We
fundamentals.
wouldn't see him, but
Yeah.
I think he's the only guy who's ever induced like 80% of a panic attack in me.
Yeah.
There's one time he had me tied up so much, and I was like, I might throw up or have a panic attack. I'm not sure, but you know, those moments when you muscle through it.
Yeah, how much better do you feel afterwards?
Yeah, that's why
when you're like, you know what, fucking hell, I've been through it and I've come out. Whether you lose or you win, most of the time when you are put up against people like Disney, you don't really have a chance of winning.
And you know
but just to know that you survived, and even like you know, you pull a few moves, you know, escaping guard or keeping him in your guard, or just small things, small victories go a long way with people like that.
There's reason I think. I'm going to lump you in with me, but we were scared of people like that was because with certain people, you're like, oh, there's no way I can win. So I'm just going to like flop her out and just be, I'm not even going to put up a fight because I know they're going to fuck me up. And if I really try, they might really get me. But then even if you flop about and do nothing, they fuck you up even more.
Yeah, that's
you know what I mean? They're like, no, we're not going to take it easy on you because you're flopping about. We're going to go even harder now because you're making it easy for me. And you're like, oh shit, and then you actually have to try, and then your try is nothing compared to them. So you're in this fucked up situation where it's like, you're like a little kid rolling with your dad, you know, you're like, I'll fucking, I guess I'll try, and he's just like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Those situations are excellent.
But I feel like those situations are what makes you a better person, like outside of the gym, outside of the mats, you know what I mean? Going through those stress, going through those stress levels, and then when you come out, it's like, I don't know, in a way, like everything else seems a lot...
It's like your brain can breathe a bit more in a stressful situation.
Yeah. It's like, I mean, you see every new white belt that comes in, right? When they're rolling, you see how heavy they're breathing. And they make a lot of noises, right? They go...
How good are these new big guys? We've got these new big guys in our gym that are the most hilarious people. I literally spent all... I think Tuesday just laughing my ass off the whole lesson because they were just like wounded hippos or something.
Yeah.
I'm just like, holy shit.
I'm like, okay,
and
like, I'm not wrong.
Yeah, and I'm like, shit. And then as you see that, you're like, oh, breathing is crucial. Like, it's
but
like,
you see every new white belt when they come through, their breathing is very sort of in a very panicky way. Because that's what you do. You're scared.
Yeah, it's similar to like lifting really heavy weights. Yeah. When you lift really heavy weights, you can't take a breath in the middle of the lift. You have to take the breath, and then the exhale is the push, right? In jiu-jitsu, you don't want to do that. You want to be breathing through every motion. Like when you're running, you don't want to be like...
Yeah, or like...
You know,
you gotta have...
You'll get a stitch or whatever. So in jiu-jitsu, it's like you got to
It's a marathon too.
You got to breathe through the motion, exactly. And then with these big guys and also new people, it's like you breathe on every... You like either inhale or exhale on every movement, and then you don't take a breath in on the way out. If you know what I mean. So it's like the push, and then and it's like you're fucking they're choking to death on you, and you're just underneath going.
Yeah,
you know. Exactly. I had someone ask me the other day. They were like, "How do you breathe? Do you breathe through your mouth or your nose?" And I'm like, "Definitely through your nose." Yeah, but then if you're under pressure, I breathe through my mouth because I can't breathe through my nose. Because
you need more oxygen. Your muscles need more.
But is that something
oxygen.
You've been focusing on?
Oh yeah, for sure. Breathing is... I've actually been doing breathing exercises at home as well, with my sort of morning routines lately. But yeah, like you said, there's a science behind it as well, because when you're new, when you don't know what you're doing, your fight or flight sort of mode gets activated when you're rolling. So that's why you're panicking, you're breathing heavy, because you're scared.
You don't know what's going to happen. Your muscles fatigue so much quicker.
Yeah, because you're like, fuck, okay, what am I going to do? And apparently even your sweat changes if you're in that sort of, depending on what mind frame you're in. So like if you're a calm person, you're sweating, right? Just normal sweat. And I actually got this, because we're going to go through some facts. Well, because I was looking a bit into like the human body and everything. That's not what I'm going to discuss later today, but that's something I actually picked up on. So apparently when you are in that fight or flight situation, even your sweat has more like fucking like toxic shit that comes out of it.
Getting everything out because suddenly you need all the good stuff in you to get out of this situation and survive.
Yeah, and so then what happens later on, your body, sooner or later, okay, because you keep putting yourself in the same situation, your brain is like, okay, you know what? I know what to do now. We're just going to put up with this. There's no fight or flight. You're not going to run away. Die. You're going to be here, so let's just take it easy. Yeah. Let's just, do this the right way. So that's why, you see people who've spent more time on the mat, their breathing is so much better because they're comfortable Like for them, it's not uncomfortable anymore.
And that's like step one of getting in control of your mind.
It's all here.
Your mind understands that you're not in any serious danger.
Yeah.
Because when you first start jiu-jitsu, you think like something bad's gonna
happen.
happen.
I'm like someone's gonna break my arm. Especially like the first time you get yourself in a bad sort of submission, you're like, oh my god, like.
And it hurts, and you don't know when to tap out at the right time. Like if someone gets you in like a katagatame, or what is that? Yeah, katagatame. Yeah. Mm-hmm. You, when you first start, don't know how much that can fuck your neck up if you let it go for a bit.
You're still trying to breathe. You think you can, but then...
And as a white belt, you also don't know the difference between pain and then, like, getting choked out. So it's like, oh, my neck's getting a bit fucked up, but I'm not choking.
Yeah.
And then suddenly you're like, my neck's broken. Like, you get out of it and you're like, ah, and you can't put your face sideways. You're like, you know what I mean? So that kind of stuff, like, that makes the panic, twice as hard, because you're like, oh no, I might get hurt, and it's like that big. It's like the white belt puts themselves in that situation, A blue belt's just gonna tap out and be like, let's keep going. A white belt's gonna be like, oh fuck, you know what am I gonna do? I gotta get out of here. It's like
because you panic. You just want to get out. You just want to get out. Where we're like, okay, cool, I know what's coming. I'm comfortable. He's gonna try to do this. Yeah, or like, okay, as he goes for this, I can try to go for that move to sort of get out of it. Blah blah blah. Because you have more confidence in yourself. Because you're capable of doing more move sets. So that's why you're like.
There is a very fine line between fighting on, and knowing when to submit. Like, when someone's got a really good submission on you, and you're on the verge of passing out, but then you're like, I'm gonna fight for this, and
that happens.
You might actually die. You're in a triangle choke or something, and you've kind of got the defense, and you're pushing through, and you're like, fuck, I might actually go, but then you're like, if I just push that extra, and it's like you're in this limbo of like, you need to tap or you're gonna pass out.
2 weeks ago when we were rolling with that new Brazilian guy, how he lifted me up and he was just trying to guillotine me.
Yeah.
Like I was literally up in the air. That moment when I was like, okay, like, because I really wanted to get out, but at the same time, it was actually like
hurting.
Yeah, it was hurting quite a bit. So I'm like, do I tap?
I saw that because when
but I'm glad I did it. But it was a bit risky.
Well, it's good because what he had wasn't like a very good submission either. So it's like if you would have tapped out, he probably would have been like, "Oh, sweet, that was sick." But
exactly, and I didn't want to give him that. I did not want to give him that.
You fought through him and like, bro, if you had it locked in better, yes.
Yeah.
But like that whole lift up, he was literally just trying to pull your neck off. Like he knew he didn't have it, and so he was like, "I'll just yank his head and hopefully he taps out." But I'm glad you fought that through because I was like,
that was very painful.
It looked so full on.
That was very painful. Very painful.
But it's good you fought through, and then you got him on the ground and shit. But he was, I imagine it's hard for anybody coming from another gym and having that difference between feeling like you got to prove something to new gyms and be like, no, I have been training. Been training 6 months, and then also wanting to just let them do whatever because you don't want to
upset
intrude on anyone's, it's their gym, whatever. So I reckon, good on him and whatever, but yeah, that was a rough looking situation, bro. I was just like kind of looked at you and then I looked away. I was like, I'll just let this, they'll sort it out. Yeah. Because I didn't want to step in and be like, we'll probably stop it there. Yeah. No way, bro. But yeah, jiu-jitsu is definitely getting a lot more fun, isn't it? It's getting back into it, same as when it was 6 months ago for us, when we stopped, or whatever, 8 months ago now. It's bloody a long time. We've been back for like almost 3 months now.
Yeah, time goes quick, eh?
These open mats are gonna be good. I'm excited.
Yeah, me too. Anyway, tonight's gonna be fun.
Yeah, tonight's gonna be great. Anyway, let's get into our little learning section.
Yeah, boy.
As we're just trying to make a little, like we said last time, this is kind of for us, so that we have something to do and bring to the podcast, just so we can keep talking and like. Because we ramble on a lot and we're good at talking sometimes, but also I want to kind of maybe give us more points to go on.
Look, if everyone can walk away with learning one thing after every episode, I feel like that's mission accomplished.
Yeah, and you guys might think we're morons, but whatever.
I mean, we are.
Yeah, we
are.
Look at the name of our podcast, bro. We accept and we embrace it.
That's it.
Anyway, I think you'll go first, actually.
All right. Well, so my first thing comes from I was just on the internet just looking at the number. Everyone's on the internet, right? So I was just looking at the number of people that actually caught the coronavirus since it started. And I was like,
Oh shit.
28 million people got it since it first started, right? Which is insane. I mean, most of them, majority of them are recovered now, which is excellent. But then I thought, let me Google Australia's current population just to see what our population is. And just to see how much this population has been increasing. So I looked at a bunch of graphs. Come here.
Sorry, I'm distracted.
So I was just looking at a bunch of graphs just to see how much the population is increasing and everything. And at the moment, the rate of our population, like every 10 years, we're adding about 2 to 2.5 million people.
In Australia?
In Australia.
Okay.
Right, so that's every 10 years.
That's not much, Jesus.
It's not much, no. And I looked at how much the growth was like back in the 60s and the 70s. It was a lot more back then, right? Because I guess people, you know, especially...
There's a different feel these days, whereas you don't have to have kids. Back then it was probably, oh shit, back then you start a family and you have to have kids.
Yeah, and also I feel like women are way more empowered now, right? Which is awesome. So more women are chasing careers and things like that. So less kids are being made. Now my thing was my sort of curiosity. One thing I was interested in, you know, after this coronavirus, now that people are spending more time at home, is there going to be a baby boom? You know what I mean? Like, are we going to get a big increase? You know, looking at it a year later, because everything is closed, people are at home, people are spending more time. You know, is it going to go down the way where we're going to have a lot more kids compared to the last few averages we've been having, or we're going to have more divorces? That'd be interesting to see, right? But the point that I'm trying to get to, then I ended up looking at the world population. Man, there's so many people in this world, right? And we think Australia is big, right? We think we're in the world, we're up there and blah, blah, blah. But man, compared to the world population, we only make about 0.33% of the world. 0.30. We're not even 1% as a nation
of making babies.
No, just as so our population right now, as of I believe this was a couple of months ago, 2020, we're sitting at 25,499,884
in Australia.
People in Australia.
Yeah,
that's our current population. But compare that, so 25 million, 25.
Of what? 7-8 billion or something.
Yeah, 7.7 billion.
Oh right, sorry, I misunderstood.
So it's only 0.33% of
that's
the world's
how much
population.
we take up of the world.
Yeah, that's not even 1%. Like if you were doing a math equation, 0.33%, you're like, you know what I mean? It means nothing. Like if someone gets, you know, you just imagine the world map, in front of a computer screen, someone just highlights Australia, presses the delete button. It's only 0.33% of the world population gone. Like you wouldn't even, you just like delete Australia out of the picture completely. God. It's only 0.33% of the population.
Well, yeah, I know that's always been a crazy thing because Australia is a huge country.
Yeah. And
then you've got like 10 times the population in a city in China, or you know, America is, I think we're the same size, like Australia to the whole United States. Similar, I think Australia's a bit bigger, maybe.
I'm not sure.
300 million in America.
Yeah, a lot more.
25 million here. You know what I mean? Like we have so much space, bro.
Yeah,
like, we have so much space.
I think it was every Australia. If you divide the land by the amount of people, it was.
We could all have fucking
3 kilometer radius for every 2 people. Something like that.
A 3 kilometer radius.
Yeah. For like every 2 people, which is. Because we're so, I mean, majority of the country is just, especially in the middle, there's nothing there anyways. There's no one there when you think about it. Like, it's a big land there. Australia is huge, bro. It's a big island, bro. We're in a massive island.
It is huge.
When you think about it.
That's crazy, though. What the fuck? We contribute
0.33.
Well, no, that's good. We like...
I just thought that was very interesting.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Like,
well, I'm pretty... Okay, so yeah, America...
Like, you've done fractions, right, at school? You've done maths?
Long time ago.
What the hell is 0.33%? It's nothing.
If you had a pie, you couldn't probably even see the sliver. It'd be just a line.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
It'd be a line on the pie chart, you know? It'd just be one line, and it would say... It probably wouldn't even be a line. It'd probably just be a dot at the end of the pie chart, and be like 0.5 3%
Isn't that
Australia.
insane?
And then the chunk of like China would be like a quarter of the pie. America would be like, you know, like a little triangle sliver.
And then Europe and shit.
And then we don't even exist.
Yeah. I just thought, and I wasn't even looking at this shit for the podcast.
It just snowballed.
I was like, oh, let me have a look. And then I just sort of like got curious, and then one thing led to another, and then I came to that. I'm like,
we've always known that though, that Australia has a low population for our land.
Yeah.
Like you know, it's nothing compared to other places in the world. Like I wonder if we compared it to India. I'd like to see that maybe next time.
Yeah.
We can see the populations of the biggest places.
Yes.
And then do the fractions.
Yes.
And then
Let's
might be
do
like
that.
30% India. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, whoa, fuck. Because I know India's huge, like a massive population. China as well. Like, or we could do Russia, because Russia's huge. Like the whole landmass of Russia, true. And like do that. And I wonder if it'd be a similar percentage per landmass as Australia. If you know what I mean? Like population. Per
that'd be interesting.
We could do something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
See, there we go. We'll start with one thing and then leads to another.
End up in maths. God damn it. That's all good.
It's not too bad, man. You just ask Google. You want me to go through all my ones
let's just smash them. Right. Let's have a go.
So then I also was sort of looking at the human body and what we're capable of, and like all these crazy shit that's happening inside of us all the time, but we're not even aware of, right? So the thing that I was looking at, your heart, how much it beats per day.
Not much. I'm an athlete.
Okay, alright, you might. Okay, alright. So people who exercise will have a lower heart rate. That's for sure. Yes. But these stats are based on average human.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. Not us. Okay.
So an average heart rate, right, beats about 100,000 times a day. 100 times a day. 100,000 times a day.
What's the average heart rate then? What's that like beats per minute then?
I guess
like 90?
It'd be about like 86, 90, something like that.
So wait, 1,000 times per day? Is that what you just said?
No, 100,000.
100,000.
Yes, and it pumps around 7,570 liters of blood.
This is one body per day.
7,570 liters of blood.
I wonder how many tons of liquid that is. It's probably a fuckload of liquid. Like that's tons of liquid.
Well, it'd be 7 tons.
Oh, true. Well,
7.5 tons. Because
the liters.
1,000
the
liters
turn straight into tons.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah. So, and then I had a after I done this, I went into the fridge just to get some snacks, and I saw a 2-liter Coke bottle there, right? And I'm like, okay, cool. So if we're doing 7,500 liters, that means we're 3,785 bottles of Coke, 2-liter bottles. 3,700, almost 4,000.
And your body does that on its own without you having
on its own, without you ever putting any effort or you even thinking about it. It just does it.
God, we're the ultra freeloaders, aren't we? Just hanging out in this body.
It just does its own thing. You know what I mean? Dude, if you had a car or if you had something mechanical that pumped out these numbers, I reckon the chances of it fucking up would be very, very likely. But for the fact that we go on in this life for 60, 70, 80 years without failing to do this.
So wait a sec. So
that's insane.
100,000 beats per day. Can we do quick maths here? Times that by...
Let's do it.
So how many years... how many days in a year? 365. So go 365 times 100. Let's say 100 years. So 100. That's not the average, but let's just go 100 years.
100 times 365.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then times about 100...
100,000?
Yeah.
Times 100,000.
I don't even know
what the fuck is that. 3.65 E9.
E9 to the power of... Is that to the power of 9 or...
Extreme 9. E is the extreme.
Extreme 9.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, that's insane. I don't even know what that number is.
Did we do it right?
What if I go...
Yeah, did we do it right? Or...
Yeah, well, what I've done was 100,000. That's a day. So if you go 100,000, that's a day, right?
Times the amount of days we did.
Actually, let's do... 365. So 36 million.
500,000 pumps per
A year.
year.
And
Okay,
then
times that by 90 now. Times that by 90.
It's still gonna give you a number that's
What does that E mean?
I don't know, to the power of
Some
something.
mathematician could tell us, eh?
Yeah.
It's a lot, guys.
Yeah, it is a lot.
So what was that? 35,500,000.
Oh, there we go.
Oh.
3 billion. 3,285 million
beats
beats
per
lifetime.
in 90 years.
Yeah, if you were to live 90 years. And average heart rate.
3 billion?
Yeah, isn't that insane?
Dude, your fucking heart's done more exercise than you've ever done in your life. How are hearts unhealthy sometimes then? Oh my god, people abuse their bodies, man. Your heart does 3 billion beats in the 90 years, let's say you stay alive, and you might chock it full of fucking bacon, fat, coke, fucking all the trash that the society gives us, and your heart's there trying to work away, like, bro, I need good shit.
And then you block your arteries with like fat and shit.
Cigarettes
and your heart has to work harder, so it has to like do more beats.
But it doesn't get better.
No,
more exercise for the heart isn't better. It's weird.
More exercise isn't better.
No, for the heart.
Yeah, it is.
If your heart has to do extra fucking work, like if you're a big person, large, fat, your heart's beating way faster than our heart. You know, it's got to do extra work, but that's not good for the heart.
No, it's not. But if you do exercise, yeah, of course. But if you get your heart rate during an exercise, then when you're normal, your heart is it can relax. It can be like, cool. Instead of 80 beats per minute, like mine usually rests at about 68 to 75 ish.
Mine's like 64.
Yeah,
kind of good week of exercise.
Like in the mornings, my heart rate when
resting.
I wake
that's
up.
resting.
Yeah.
Obviously, right now our heart rate's going to be high, like 70 or something, 80 or something like that. But yeah, well, that's...
this morning I was monitoring, and because with these new fucking Apple Watches and shit, you can sort of see your heart rate on the fly. And when I was doing my morning exercise this morning, I saw 88. So I guess that number it goes up and down. You know what I mean? Obviously,
were you like going?
Yeah, I was doing jumping jacks, push-ups, and sit-ups, and everything.
And you were at 88.
Yeah, I was at 88.
That's low.
Yeah.
For an exercise.
Yeah, but it wasn't a full-on intense exercise. It was just
when I got my Fitbit ages ago, I really wanted to see how high you get it. I got my heart rate to 195 one time.
190.
In the fucking red zone, cunt.
No way.
I don't even know if this is true, but it's literally logged on there, and I could show you.
Are you serious?
And I looked at it, and I was like, "Isn't that dead?"
Yeah, that's dead, bro.
Aren't you like? But it obviously peaked at that for like a little amount of time. Like it was going. It doesn't stay. It doesn't coast at that. It said that was the peak. But then I was kind of like, that's pretty rough. But dude, anywhere from like 160 to fucking 180, that's a lot.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I'm like, how are you not dead yet?
But yeah, obviously your age matters, your body fat,
fitness level,
your fitness level,
food,
like,
healthy, whatever.
Everything.
Legit, but the lower you can get your heart rate,
the better it is for you. Well, your body
again, this is on average, but it would change for everybody, right?
Yeah,
so someone with a lower heart rate, it would be less, right? And then someone who's maybe less healthy, it could be way more than that. It could be 3 and 4 billion.
Well, imagine if your heart is let's say your car, right? If you...
Well, your body is your car. Let's just say that.
Well, yeah, that's true. Your heart is the engine, maybe.
Yes.
Yeah. It's what drives it forward.
Yeah.
Or is brain the engine? I don't know.
No, the heart's the engine.
What's the brain? The exhaust pipe.
The brain's just the fucking steering wheel.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
The engine,
or
the engine
the brain
and the heart have to be
is you in the car.
Yeah, but you're with the steering wheel. That's how you operate it.
Yeah. You take it to any direction.
Get your hands on the brain.
That's
like that. Move it around like Pickle Rick, how he's got the tongue on the cockroach brain.
Yeah.
And the cockroach is like moving forward. That's us on the brain. We're just like trying to figure it out. Like, how does this thing work, dude? Pick shit up.
So my next thing.
I like that one. I really like that one. I love anatomy stuff because it's so bizarre. It's like space as well. It's just stuff you.
I wanted to do more on the human body, but I thought I'll just
break it up.
Break it up.
We could definitely do more, other podcasts. We just do a theme. We'll try and do that.
Yeah, for sure. Now I want to ask you a question.
Uh-oh.
So then I went on looking at the animal kingdom.
Oh, jeez.
The strongest of the beasts.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Joe Rogan.
Oh, when he makes those fucking chip noises.
And they do like
supercuts.
Yeah. I love this shit.
So I want to ask you, what do you think is the strongest animal in the world? Would you say it's a gorilla or a tiger?
How
or a lion?
what are we saying right now? Like per
Like body to like body weight to how much like it can lift and shit, like compared to its body weight.
Jesus Christ. Because we just gorillaed out, I want to say a gorilla. Can I have 3 guesses?
Yeah, sure.
All right. I want to say a gorilla,
Mm-hmm.
an elephant.
Ooh, okay, yeah.
Because an elephant's, I imagine, strong as a motherfucker.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe a hippo. No, not a hippo. They're just dangerous. I bet there's something strong as fuck that I don't know about. I'm gonna go just gorilla and elephant at the moment.
That's it?
Elephant? Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
What is it? Oh, fuck.
It's a fucking beetle.
What do you mean?
It's called a dung beetle, bro. So obviously we're talking about body to weight ratio and how much they can lift, right?
I should have said an ant. Fuck.
So yeah, ants are very strong too.
But
these beetles can pull up to 1,145 times their own weight. So let's say you weigh 70 kilos. That means that you can lift 80,000 kilos. Imagine you weighing 70 kilos, lifting 80,000 kilos. But these fuckers...
That'd be a superhero power.
These fuckers can do that.
What the fuck?
Man, and imagine if these beetles weren't so tiny.
How does that work?
Yeah. It's insane,
Yeah,
right?
imagine if they were.
Imagine
size.
if they were like the
just
size
ran
of this car or
knock
something.
down your door.
The size of this car.
Just flips it.
Yeah.
Or just picks it up and takes it away.
Just,
You'd be fucked, bro.
yeah.
Even if that beetle was like this big.
Yeah.
Imagine just taking like your weights away. You're like.
Yeah.
Just shit starts disappearing.
The fact that they can live,
Yeah,
over 1,000
insanity.
times their weight, I just thought that was...
I wonder how they monitor that.
Insane.
Is that literally just by watching them move and lift shit and then going, that thing weighs like triple, however many billion times more than its body weight? Because sorry, this is dung beetle, right?
Yes.
Is that what it is?
Mhm.
Because they roll up the fucking shit, right?
Mhm.
And they move the big things of shit.
Mhm.
That probably weighs a lot more than them, right?
Oh, yeah. Well, they're tiny, so they probably just weigh a few grams or something.
It's like an Arnold, the Arnold Olympics, but they're all beetles.
Yeah. That's
That'd
insane,
be nuts,
eh?
man. That's crazy.
Yeah. I just thought... I don't know why. Again, I didn't even Google, like... I just thought, let me just Google random animal facts, and then this shit came up.
No, these are awesome. I really think that's insane. So wait, what was it again? It was how many times its body weight?
1,141.
1,141 times its body weight.
Yeah.
And then you did the maths, which means they could, if you were 70 kilos, you could lift 80,000 kilos.
Yeah. That's a lot.
Fuck me, dude. Fuck me.
That is a lot.
That's
That
insane.
is a lot.
Have you got more?
Well, so I've got...
Jesus, mate, you put... No, I'm going to fucking come in and be like,
No, okay, so these are just a very small things. I just thought I'll add these. I thought, our viewers might find it a bit interesting. So, I don't know if you saw this, but yesterday, Apple lost a shit ton of money.
No, oh, wait, was it... Yeah,
in fact, it was the biggest loss in the history of any company.
Oh my god.
So they lost a lot of their shares yesterday. And the amount of dollars that this equals to is $180 billion. $180 billion Apple lost yesterday.
Lost
because there was apparently this broader tech something.
And investors pulled out. Shit.
$180 billion. I just thought that was interesting.
That ain't a scratch in their net worth.
180 billion is a bit. Billion, not million. No, 180 billion. That is.
That's a lot.
That is a lot. I don't care who you are.
I thought you said million.
No, I don't care who you are. That's a shit ton of money. So I just thought
that's
that was
most mega corporations' net worth in total.
Not even.
Not even. That's fucked. 180 billion.
Yeah. So, feels bad for Apple. Yeah, this happened yesterday. I just thought we'll throw it in there because we're all into tech. So let's support Apple. Go into go to
We're
iTunes.
gonna help them out. They're
Give
gonna
us a
start
like.
Patreon up. They're gonna be like, okay, we need help, guys. If you want iPhones still, you gotta pay us to make them, and then buy them.
Yeah, that's it.
How many zeros are on a billion? Is it 6, 7,
6
8,
is
9,
million,
right?
yeah.
9.
Mm-hmm.
9 zeros.
So once it gets to 999
So
million...
So 180 billion is 180,000,000, right?
I don't know.
And then,
well,
3 more zeros. Does that 180 make up that 9th set of zeros? You know what I mean?
I think so.
Is it 180?
Yes.
And then
yes.
3, 3, 3
Yes.
to make it 6.
Yes.
Fucking hell.
Yeah, it's a lot of numbers.
Imagine just seeing that in your bank account.
That's a lot.
And then just gone. You're like, who's the guy who created Apple? Is it
the dead guy?
Bill Schwarzenegger. What's his name? No, that's
What's his name?
Bill Gates. What did he do?
No, Bill Gates is Microsoft.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Steve Jobs?
Yeah.
Is that him?
I don't know if he created,
Helped with it.
Well, he was the one that sort of made Apple.
We're going to see him out in the streets soon. I lost $180 billion.
He's dead, bro.
Man. Oh.
The fuck?
We see him on the streets anyway. He's like, I never died. I just need the money back now.
And one more thing that I've got. So, this is more space related.
Excellent. I'll lead into my stuff.
Okay, good. So we recently discovered that the two of the biggest known black holes recently collided.
What?
Yes, and morphed into one another. So one
super black hole now.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
so one of these, the size of one of them was 66 times the size of the sun, which is massive compared to
Dude, this is
Earth.
perfect. This is going to tie into my shit.
Okay, good. So one of them was 66 times the mass of the sun, and then the other one was 85 times the mass of the sun. And these fuckers collided, morphed into one another, ate each other up, and became this massive giant black hole. So they united to form a black hole that's 142 times the mass of our sun, which is insane. Imagine this thing that's 142 times bigger than our sun, just sucking everything up in space.
I know we can't really see a black hole because it eats light and all that shit, but let's say that was in the night sky and you were able to see it, it would encompass everywhere. If it was that big, it would encompass every part of the night sky. You wouldn't be able to see anything but the black hole.
Yeah.
That's how big that is.
That's insane.
And that will tie in straight into one of my points, just so people can get even more of an idea of how big that actually is. Let me just find it.
So yeah, that was my facts.
The sun can fit over 1 million Earths volume-wise into it. So let's think about that. So you can fit 1 million Earths into the sun volume-wise, and then one of these black holes was 66 times that. So
was 85
so 66 times 1 million Earths.
Yeah, that's 66 million.
66 million, and then 80 whatever. So what is it? 140.
147, I think it was.
147 times. So that's 147 million Earths, right?
Yeah. Oh, I lost my page.
That's crazy. 147. I don't know if we're doing maths right, because I'm not a maths.
Yeah, 142.
So would that be 142 just times that 1 million Earths, right?
Yeah.
Mass-wise.
Yeah.
That's how many Earths would be sucked into that fucker before it filled up. It's like a vacuum.
Yeah.
Oh, we're full. Empty it out. Some big old fuck just takes his black hole, empties it into the garbage bin of space. Earths. We're just all fucking floating through the abyss.
But imagine the power, the scale of that.
Well, what exactly does a black hole do? It's like, is it like a portal?
So it's
how it is?
when gravity crushes into itself, it just creates this force field. It just sucks everything in.
But where does it go?
It
just gets crushed to fuck. Like
it literally turns stars into like dust particles.
So it doesn't. It's not like Interstellar where they go through the black hole and they teleport away. That's a wormhole, right?
Yeah. But this, you'll just break apart. Man.
You turn into just
like
nothing.
your DNA will be destroyed. Not even kidding.
You just teleport into nothing.
Yeah, you just go on. Magic.
Thanos.
Abracadabra.
Yeah, legit. Poof into nothing.
That's it.
Dude, that's so scary.
Yeah. I mean, we came out of nothing, so we'll go.
What if a black hole got close enough that the sun and all of us started orbiting it? Would we orbit a black hole? like we orbit the sun, or would we start orbiting it and getting closer and closer, like a funnel, like a marble going down a funnel, getting closer and closer to the middle?
Yeah,
would we eventually get sucked into the middle? Right?
Yeah, for sure.
We wouldn't just keep going around it like we go around the sun.
It's I mean, if
the
it's
gravity's
close
so
enough,
intense
it's
or
so
something.
intense. Yeah, it's so intense.
Or we don't even orbit. We just go straight into it, just straight in, just sucked straight into it. Another little fact just to go on, because I don't have as many as you.
Yeah, that's
mine
cool.
are just quick ones.
Yeah.
But the space thing ties in, which is good. Another fact about how enormous space is: all the other planets in our little solar system, Saturn, all the other 8. Guess we can count Pluto. I count Pluto. It's a fucking big object. All those planets can fit between us and our moon.
Yeah, I saw that.
How crazy is that?
I saw that. Yeah. That is pretty...
How crazy, like, just line them up,
yeah,
and there'd be space, still heaps of space in between. That's how far away our fucking moon is, and our moon's, like, that big in the night sky. Space is huge.
Yeah.
Space is huge, because the moon looks like, you'd think, because, like, literally when you see, oh my god, when you see the Earth, and you see the little moon, like, quite close to it, orbiting around it, right? Like, on a diagram, obviously, we can't really see it. But like if you zoomed out to, like, let's say you were looking at it from the sun, the moon probably would be like this close to the Earth. It probably wouldn't look that far.
It will look,
and then you can fit all the other planets lined up in a row from Earth to the moon in between, and there's still going to be heaps of space left. And we've sent people to the moon. This is insane, bro. Like, that stuff blows my mind. I'm just
I
like,
can't
what's
wait
wrong
till we
with
send people to Mars. I can't wait.
I just wanna come back in an episode of, like, Star Trek: The Next Generation, but it's real. It's not a TV show.
No.
I'm just like,
we'll get there, man. We'll get there.
But how scary would that be, knowing that you're in a spaceship and that's your only life raft? It's like you're out in the ocean, and your little life raft. You can't swim in this water. Like, you'll die eventually. But in space, it's like anything outside that ship, you're fucked.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Pretty much. Yeah.
That would induce so much panic in me.
Even stepping outside and
just looking out like a viewport, like a window, and just seeing black nothingness, and you're just like, I want to be back on solid rock. But then it'd probably seep into your head eventually that, like, your little rock of Earth is nothing. It's like a little pebble of, it's like a little grain of sand on the beach. It's like, oh, that's not even, I'm not safe on this rock. I'm not safe anywhere. We feel so safe on Earth, but it's tiny in the grand scheme of things, and we don't even know what the grand scheme of things is. We know, like,
we have no idea.
We have no idea. Actually, cool. Turns into one of my other points.
All right.
So
we did not plan this, by the way.
No. So normal visible matter makes about 5% of the universe. So normal visible matter is Earth, rocks, all the shit that's not floaty space, right?
Yes. I know where this is going. I love it.
You know where this is going, right? The rest consists of dark energy.
Yes.
Which makes up about 68%.
Yeah.
And then dark matter. So dark energy and dark matter are the two other things that we know of.
That we can't see.
And so the dark energy makes up 68%. Dark matter makes up 27%. With an estimate of 5% we know nothing about. And we don't even know much of, we don't even know what dark energy or dark matter is.
We don't.
We just made those words up. So if we put that all together, so what's that? 95%, we have about no clue what the fuck's going on.
Yeah.
5% of the universe is what we know.
We think we know. We think we fucking have it all figured out.
And you can probably whittle that down to 0.35%. We are, the Earth is Australia in the grand scheme of the world, the population, the fucking density, and all that stuff. But so this dark energy and this dark matter stuff, it's, the dark energy, first of all, is like, just like if we're hanging out in space and this couch we're sitting on is Earth, all this that I'm touching now that I can't actually touch is the dark energy. And then the dark matter is also stuff like gravity and kind of stuff that affects things but doesn't have a thing, if you know what I mean. Which is all magic.
Yeah.
Sci-fi magic, right?
Legit.
And this is real, and this is around us.
I know.
And it's out there.
But we don't stop to think about it.
And we have no idea what the fuck is going on. Yeah. But I love that.
Like, even gravity, we don't know where gravity comes from or how
we don't know. We don't know why it is a thing. We know it's a thing. We're like, yeah, gravity works this way, but it's like, I don't really understand.
But why? And why is it different? Like, different planets, different stars. based on the size.
But that's
of
crazy. It's an estimated 5%. So like all the stuff we know of, Earth and rocks and planets and the sun, all the other stars in the universe makes about 5% of everything. So it's like you could make an analogy to that, like all the islands on the planet compared to the ocean. All the little islands just poke up out of the ocean.
Yeah.
Compared to the mass of the ocean,
the depth
that's
of the
about
ocean.
the same. That's like a similar analogy. Oh, we've got a billion islands on the Earth, but then you look at the mass of the ocean, and it's like 1 trillion times more volume, mass, whatever matter-wise than those islands. That's similar to like, obviously we're speculating. I don't know. We're not scientists. We want to meet a scientist though. That'll be the culmination. We'll bring a scientist on here, and he'll explain all this shit to us, or her. We'll get someone though.
Yeah, we'll get a guest.
We'll get someone.
Yeah, that'd be sick.
And they can really explain this stuff to us.
I wonder if dark matter is like, let's say if you were a fish and you're swimming, right? You don't really know, you can't really comprehend the idea of the water because it's all around you. Like how air is all around us, right? But you don't really bump into it. If you're a fish, you're just swimming through it. I wonder if dark matter is just, it's there, but we just sort of...
Well, it's
like
what
it's not
everything
very
exists in.
Yeah.
It's like the Earth is just sitting here in space. It's not in something, but we are in something. You know what I'm saying? Like,
is there a way to get out of that?
All this blackness is something. Yeah, it's like all of a sudden you make a tear with a little Stanley knife in the fabric of space, and you open it up, and there's a whole new world. And you're just hanging out in this little galaxy bubble of the universe, which is all this dark energy, dark matter, and you're just sitting on this planet. But outside of that, I don't even know. Because I think there's some nuts thing, like you've probably seen it as well. It's like a little graph of how, like, our observable universe compared to what we actually think is out there. And we're like this tiny little coin in this huge freaking thing, right? It's insane. It's like if you put, a 5-cent coin on this table, probably more, and then that's the universe. And that's how much we've actually explored, you know what I mean? Yeah. It's something and nuts like
not
that.
Even,
Yeah, we like to think we're learning
yeah.
stuff. We figure stuff out, but it's like, bro, we know absolutely nothing.
Oh,
and that's kind of exciting though. I'm just glad I'm not out there. Because it would be terrifying if you were just floating out on a spaceship and you see a black hole.
Would you okay, let's say in the next 10 years, because they want to do space traveling, right, where you can go to orbit, whatever, come back down. Is that something you'd be keen to do?
To do space travel?
Yeah. Like, just to get, like, let's say Virgin...
If I knew it was safe as fuck.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, you'll get there.
If I knew it was safe and I wasn't going to fucking... Because I already stress flying on planes,
yeah,
bro. Like, I'm not a good flyer.
Every time I'm going to Sydney, I literally hold on to my fucking...
Oh, you're the same as me.
Yeah.
We should fly together. We were the worst.
Way.
You'd see us together.
We'd
We're like,
freak each other out.
Yeah.
Especially takeoffs, man. Takeoffs freak me the fuck out.
Landings freak me out.
Oh, really?
Because
Landings are not
you
too
don't
bad
actually
for me.
know. Like, in my head, I'm going... Like, you might hit a turbulence or something, and like, because like the landing sequence is like literally starts like 15 minutes before you actually land, because you got to ascend or whatever, descend. Sorry, and and like you don't really know what's going on, and like there's these moments where the plane goes through these moments where the engine almost turns off.
Yeah.
It's like
it goes
like zoning
quiet.
down, and you're just like, oh fuck, like
we're going down,
and because the captain's not gonna say shit, he's not gonna be like, hey everybody, we're gonna fucking die. Everyone would panic. He'd just be like, let's just not say anything. And then suddenly I look out the window and the ground's getting really close.
Yeah.
And the engine's still kind of like almost off.
Yeah.
This has happened so many times because I pay attention to all that shit. Like the engine starts spooling down, and I'm like, I look out the window, we're fucking so high up.
Fucking wheels come out.
I'm like, yeah, and I'm like, dude, we're so high up. Why are we? What the fuck's going on? And I'm like, there panicking. I'm just like, dude, you've been on so many flights, just chill out.
Yeah.
And then it's like going down, and you're just like, oh my god.
Oh no, see, with me. With the landings, I'm like, cool, I can see the...
Get the fuck off, I
can see the ground now, even if we fall, I feel like nothing's gonna happen. Obviously, if you fall, you're still gonna die. But yeah, with me, I think I watched, what's that, man? Yeah, that, but also Final Destination. I don't know if you've seen that.
I'm not gonna watch anything to do with planes.
The first movie is like, there's a big plane accident, plane crash, right?
No.
And that happens right after takeoff. And man, every time I fly, that movie is like... It's like it's
well, there you go.
here,
See,
man.
I'm smart. I don't watch any bullshit like that because I already know I'm scared of flying. Takeoff and just normal flight is fine for me.
Yeah.
It's the landing that I'm just like, oh fuck.
Yeah.
Like, what if this pilot's kind of like, what if he's on too much fucking, what do you call it? That crazy pill that hypes you up.
Oh yeah.
I don't know what the fuck it's called, but he's just like, oh yeah, might try a
Oh,
barrel roll.
yeah.
Might try a barrel roll. It's like, what the fuck?
Let's see if I can drift this corner.
You're like, oh shit. He's like, what if we do it GTA style, where you fly the plane into the airport and then you just like hit the brakes and the plane goes and then just falls to the ground and it's like all good, mate. And you're just like, oh my god, this dude's been watching too much.
I'm glad
yeah,
you're
I was
a pilot.
panicking. Yeah, no, I'd be the best pilot. I want to be the pilot, so I know I'm in control. That's my biggest problem is that I have a control problem with things like that.
Are you like that? Like if someone else is driving the car? If it's
I
someone I
definitely-
don't know
Yes, definitely have been.
and they're driving a bit reckless, yeah, I get very nervous. Like
Yeah,
I'd
I
be
definitely
in the
get like
passenger
that.
seat hitting the brake, like I'm like,
You're like,
Can you
I've been
see-
like that with girlfriends before a lot, and I don't know why
Yeah,
that is a
me
thing.
too.
But like, yeah, you're sitting there in the passenger seat, and I look at her, I'm like,
fuck, I wish I
and
was.
she
like-
looks at me, I'm like, keep your fucking eyes on the road. I'm like, wow, look at that thing out the window. She's like, I'm like, keep your eyes on the fucking road. Yeah, I think we got a similar thing there.
Yeah.
Jesus is good for us then.
Yeah.
Takes us out of that comfort zone.
100%.
But yeah, I don't know, like, yeah, you're right. Yeah, I don't like being. I don't think it's like a major control complex, but it's literally like planes and being in cars with other people is fine, but it's still you have that little like.
If it's
Let me
someone
do it.
that I
Like-
know, like I've been in their car a few
Yes.
times, then I feel comfortable. But if it's like first or second time, then yeah, I'm very nervous because I'm like, I don't know how this person's gonna drive. I feel like, oh, did they see this car? I'd be like, be careful. Did they see the red light? Did
I'm
they...
the worst.
Or if
bro.
they're shifting lanes,
I'm like,
did they
watch
check
out,
their
watch out, watch
shoulder?
out, and they're like, I fucking see it. Shut up. I'm like, oh, okay.
But yeah,
okay.
see, I get annoyed if someone tries to do it to me. Like,
Yeah.
shut the fuck up. I know how to drive.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I guess
Fuck.
it's an interesting
Like I said, it's
thing
good
to
for us-
balance,
good for us
right?
to do jiu-jitsu.
Yeah,
It's
fuck
taking us out of that control seat.
That's it.
Anyway, I got a few more. I'll just hit with. I've got many, but there's a thing in space called cold welding.
Oh, okay. I don't know about this.
I don't know about it either. I just wrote it down. Copy and
It's
paste.
the-
No,
it's
so
the theme of our podcast.
there's this weird thing. I don't really know how it works. They didn't explain it. I just saw it and I thought it was a cool fact. If two pieces of the same metal touch in space, they bond, permanently sticking together, as in just like fuse together. And this doesn't happen on Earth because water and air keep them apart.
Oh.
So apparently there's a thing, it's like in space where there is none of that, that shit will just fuse together because there's nothing separating it. There's no water molecules, air molecules. There's nothing in space to
Damn.
keep things apart, in a way.
Damn.
So, and for some reason metals react like that because of the chemical compounds or, the materials or minerals. I don't know how it works.
Just the way they react,
But
maybe
literally
in the
too,
surroundings.
because it's so freezing as well
Yeah.
in space.
Yeah, that's right.
That's another thing here.
Yeah.
In its darkest areas in space, it's around minus 270 degrees. That's why things probably bond together. So
Is that degrees Celsius?
degrees Celsius? Yeah, as in R.
Yeah.
R1. Yeah.
Mhm.
Fahrenheit. It was something stupid like fucking 600. I
Yeah.
was like, I don't
Yeah.
even know how that works.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that I think is why that does that.
Mm.
But that's pretty crazy.
That is very crazy.
That could be like a huge advantage in space for building stuff.
Yeah.
You don't have to weld shit together. Just oh, see, look at that. You know,
It's like
just
fucking
put
Lego.
shit together. Boom, boom, boom.
Lego
boom.
pieces.
It just does it for you. Zzz, it sticks together.
So you just get two pieces.
You got a little thing now. Then you start putting more in together, and it's probably so much stronger than if you welded together. Maybe. Actually, I don't know. I don't know. I can look at that.
I'd want to
Look at
look
that next
into that actually.
Yeah, but I just saw that, and they
That's
didn't,
very
because it was a very quick list I was
Mm.
looking at. Like they were just kind of going through it. So they didn't explain it too much, but I was like, that is interesting.
That is very interesting.
Because that must have to
Is
do with
it
some
just
chemistry
metal
of the
that-
metals.
Is it just
Yeah,
metal?
they said metals. They didn't say
Okay.
anything else. They just
Yeah,
said
fair
metals.
enough. Fair
So
enough.
if two metals touched in space, I'm assuming because of how cold it is, and also like they say here, because there's no water and air separating molecules or something, they just fuse together somehow.
I wonder if that would also apply to a planet like Mars. Would that happen on Mars as well?
No,
Because there's
because it has an atmosphere.
but it's
Even
got
though
no
it's not
water.
the same as Earth.
So I guess atmosphere would play So that's just out in space, you're saying?
Because the moon doesn't have an atmosphere, does it? But it has gravity of its own. That's why you can walk on it. But it doesn't have an atmosphere field.
No.
So you can do it on the moon. Just if you're inside like an atmosphere, because there is air, like on Mars there's wind, yeah, it wouldn't be the same.
Yeah, that's true.
So you just fly up 6 billion feet into the air, suddenly you're in space, and you just fall back down.
That's sick.
Hey mate, come get your welding tools down here at Mars, Bob Jane T-Mart Mars, or whatever bullshit. And then some dude's like, nah man, he hops on the bouncy castle, it shoots him freaking, 10,000 feet into the air, he gets outside Earth's, Mars' atmosphere with his 2 pieces of metal, and then somehow he's attached by some wire, and he gives it a yank, and someone just goes, and he goes, back down to Mars.
That's pretty sick. That's pretty sick.
You just got it like you've got an orbiting business around Mars, and your orbiting business is cold welding. Come get your metals welded. No tools required.
Oh, there we go. We're finding new jobs now in space.
No dirty welding rods.
New job opportunities. That's insane.
Come use the magic of nature.
That's insane.
Little flashing lights.
You know what? I was just sort of like just thinking, with the metal part. I want to, you said you could fly up, build shit, and then bring it down to Mars. You just make houses, metal houses and shit, right? You just fucking nail it down. But you got to make sure because the gravity is quite weak, right?
What if it does that out in space, and then you come back into somewhere with atmosphere and the shit just falls apart?
Yeah.
What if that doesn't?
Like, damn it.
Yeah, you're like, fuck.
Well,
so
imagine
it only works in space.
If we have people living on the moon, because the gravity is very low, right?
Just
can you pick someone up, fucking kick him in the butt? You're just like, no.
He'd travel a fair way.
Yeah, he would.
I reckon if they jump, and you kick a mid-jump, they get sent 25 meters.
Put a trampoline, as they're coming back down, put a trampoline underneath.
They're like, fuck, I can't get down.
And
perpetually bouncing.
They're like, you just sort of go underneath them again, put another trampoline. They're just bouncing.
Little trampoline frisbees, you just getting them where he's landing each time. No, that'd be torture. But they'll definitely make businesses on that as well.
Oh, man. Yeah.
You want to bounce on the
moon?
moon?
We're humans,
Bring
man.
your kids. Like I said, through the tube.
That's
Forgot
it.
my wallet.
Yeah. Shout out to episode 1.
I think it's 2, bro.
Was it?
2 or 3, can't remember. We did 2 and 3 on the Mars stuff. Anyway, another thing. Just to reiterate that people have a lot more money than us, and we're poor, and we're scrubs, and
What?
A NASA spacesuit, one astronaut suit, costs $12 million.
Oof.
One suit. Imagine if you're wearing that suit. And they're like, hey, don't scratch that shit. That buffer job's going to cost about $1 million if you scratch that shit.
Damn.
Don't get too much space dust on it.
How much?
$12 million. And then it was something like, most of that $12 million is for just the control module on the suit. Like, so they can radio and... Because I'm sure they're a lot more sophisticated nowadays.
Oh,
so that control
especially
module costs
the
majority of that $12 million,
That's insane.
I should have checked what it was made out of. The suits. I wonder what they're made out of.
Do you wash? Imagine you're like a normal suit. You wear it, you chuck it in the wash. Imagine you take your spacesuit to a fucking laundromat or something
Google that, aliens. Yeah,
you're just ironing your fucking...
And it's like the alien just opens its mouth, the suit goes into its mouth, and it just steam's coming out its nose and shit, and it just vomits out the suit, and it's just dry cleaned.
Yeah.
So here you go. And you just give it a coin. Like, okay, cool.
Look at us finding space jobs.
We should create a TV show on that. Too bad Rick and Morty's already been created, otherwise we would have done it next day.
Yeah.
No, we couldn't have think of anything like that. I'm grateful for things like Rick and Morty.
Yeah.
There's the ideas that come out of those shows, all their crazy episodes where they go to the theme park on that planet. I don't know if you remember, but Rick and Morty does the where he becomes that old man for he lives a whole life. It's like you put the headset on and you can live a life.
Yes.
And then he comes out and he's like, oh, I've been alive for 90 years. He's lived that whole life. And he's like, shit like that. Why can't that be real? What if that is real? What if we have just put on that headset?
Yeah.
Then when we die, we take off that headset. I think I've already mentioned this maybe before. I just can't remember.
Yeah.
And then you're there.
That's the simulation.
You're there at
theory.
this theme park, and you've forgotten that you're an alien with freaking 6 legs, fucking 4 eyes.
Mm. You're like, oh, look
And you're like, oh my god!
Look at this new game.
And your mate's like, bro, 5 minutes. Come on, that's only been 5 minutes. You're like, oh, you're like freaking out.
Like,
You don't know where you've
feel
been
like
from.
a lifetime, but it'll only be 5 minutes.
Yeah.
I'll do it.
And they just give you a pill and you remember
Yeah.
everything. And you just, oh yeah, I'm back. Ah, you wasted it, bro. You did fucking nothing.
Yeah,
Jesus
I don't know.
Christ.
Shit like that just... if we start talking about that now,
We
this
go off, don't
podcast
we?
will go for another 3 hours.
Well, we
yeah.
can get there one day.
Yeah.
Just probably no one will listen. Okay, last one.
Yes.
Last one.
Hit me
Which
up.
is pretty interesting. Scientists, astrologers, people looking at space.
Mhm.
I don't know when this was. I didn't look at that. They found a massive reservoir of water vapor, floating through space. Right?
What?
Yeah.
Damn.
So, 12 billion light years away. So it's a long way away, right? But they've found this thing apparently. It's the largest ever found. The water vapor cloud contains 140 trillion times the amount of water on Earth.
Whoa. What? 101?
140 trillion times the amount of water on Earth.
Wow.
So this thing is like,
Just flying
and it's
through.
just water vapor, just floating around through space. But it's
Holy
140 trillion times the amount of liquid we have on this planet.
Holy crap.
That's probably like
You just blew my
that's
mind.
probably a
Holy
few
fuck.
suns worth of water.
Wow, that's a lot of water. So, okay, so imagine if that shit is just flying through space.
It is.
And just bumps into a planet and like...
Or it probably wouldn't bump into a planet. The water would start orbiting if it's big enough.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Through
Would
the
it just
gravity
would
and
you
shit,
just
right?
have a ring instead of asteroids of water? Imagine if our ring was water. Imagine that this thing comes around like some huge planet, and it's because it would start orbiting like this, like how Saturn has its asteroid belts.
Yeah.
This so-called planet we're imagining, this water vapor reservoir starts orbiting that planet. It's just this ring of water, not actually on the Earth, but just orbiting.
If that was to happen, Elon Musk would build a space fucking...
He'd suck that shit out the
No,
fucking...
he'd surf that shit. Build a space fucking surfboard or something.
If that did happen though, if we were able to access that water vapor cloud, people would be working their asses off to get their hands on it. But then again, also I didn't check if this is like pure H2O, like water we can... Because some water is not actually legit water that we can drink and use and stuff like that.
Well, especially if it's floating in space. I'm sure it's toxic and shit. Like, it won't be the pure water that you drink here. Because even the water you drink here has to go through a filtration system.
Yeah, it could be water full like mercury and shit. You'd probably go mutated if you drank it. But
That's
that's
crazy
crazy though. 140 trillion times. So
yeah.
trillion.
Yeah, you can't
That's 3 more zeros on top of those 9. So that's 12 zeros.
you can't comprehend that number.
No.
You can't even comprehend the amount of water that you have here.
But okay, so that water vapor is probably sometime bigger than that black hole you were talking about.
So if the black hole gets
Sucks
thirsty,
that water through.
sucks that water,
And then we'd do something like we'd find some crazy statistic like it's going to take that black hole 50 billion years to actually drain that water vapor cloud. But in the grand scheme of things, that black hole just sucks that up like that. But for us, it's going to take years, and it's just sucking that noodle of water in.
That's oh man, fucking hell, space, man.
I
don't
love
know.
it, man. I love space. But no, I like this. This one was fun because we kind of had some more kind of like open-ended ones. I reckon we should definitely next episode. I mean, we can look whatever we find, we can go with. But the human body one, like that's really interesting. I love that kind of stuff because
Yeah, me too.
I mean,
There was also one other fact that I saw about the human body that I didn't write down. I think, what is it, your intestines that are like very actually long?
Yeah, I think it's something, I don't know if it's, I think it's back to front some shit. It's like your large intestine is actually not as long as your small intestine. The small intestine's like curled up more, but your small intestine's something like, I don't want to say something fucking stupid like a kilometer, but I think it is something like that.
It's pretty long. Apparently, like, I don't know, I think it was like a combination of all your organs that are inside your body. If you were to lay them out, stretch them out, like string them together on a piece of line, apparently you can make it go around the globe once. Yeah, I read that today. I don't know how true it is. That's why I didn't write it down.
That just sounds insane, doesn't it?
Yeah. So I need to
look
look
into
into
that. To me, that sounds
that.
great. For one person, that sounds pretty wild.
So I mean, again, don't take me, take it with a grain of salt.
Just gotta look it up.
It's true or not.
Send us a message.
Send us an email. I'm not a scientist podcast @gmail.com.
Yeah, I want to
plug in some our iTunes and shit, because most of our listeners are still listening from SoundCloud, which is good. But yeah, check us out on iTunes and Google Play as well. Give us a review.
Yeah, it's much easier to listen on iTunes podcast, I think. The podcast app.
For sure.
And whatever podcast app you would listen on, it would be on there. Because like I have a podcast app that's not an iTunes app. It's like Overcast or something. I use that. Are things on there? So it goes to like all podcast sites if it's on the iTunes platform, you know. And then we've also got it on the Google Play, which then would distribute to all the Android podcast apps as well. So we're everywhere at the moment. But it is tricky to get it out there because it's like all the people who would listen to this first would be on SoundCloud.
Yeah. And we're still getting we're still getting a few hits on SoundCloud. Just last week we actually had 10 new listeners from San Francisco. So
I want to find out though if it is a decent listener, if it's a one click, you know.
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
Like how
but
do
let's
they
just
analytics?
Assume they're listeners. All right. It's just. I mean, I don't know. Look, if anyone listens to it,
a percentage on
iTunes is
on
pretty
iTunes is like what 2% listened is like a 2%.
Oh well, that's probably us too.
We're probably gonna crumble in like 20 episodes, and we're gonna start paying for people to listen. Can you please listen? Dude, no joke. You know that I don't know if we're allowed to like mention names, but you know that site we were trying to go between to get onto iTunes? I just don't want to say names of anything because I don't know if I'm allowed to. But in my YouTube when I was looking, that same site, I thought they were all great. They're like, oh, how to pay for your listeners.
Yeah, no.
And immediately I was like, they're all into this like.
And they're trying to make it look like, they're podcasting. I don't want to make our podcast look like it's something when it's not. Because then we're just kidding ourselves.
And why would you want people just to listen for the sake of listening? It's like we're here doing something that we want to be enthusiastic about. And therefore, I mean, like, do you listen to podcasts you don't give a fuck about? No. Like, no one does. Yeah. You know what I mean? You listen, this is hilarious. Oh, I'm going to listen to this. This is so interesting. I'm learning so much. I'm going to listen to this.
That's it.
I have no idea where the idea that paying for this... Maybe it's for bigger things we don't understand. Like a business or something. I don't know what it would be.
It's for people who just want a quick success without putting...
Why would you spend the money
But that's what it is. That's why, 6-minute ab workout videos fucking sell. Because people want quick results, Oh yeah, pay us $50, we'll get you 1,000 viewers. Cool. They just want results. Because, I mean, most people would be discouraged, let's say if they're putting out a bunch of episodes and no one listens, like, fuck it, what's the point? But the way we see it, it's like, who cares even if no one listens to it, we're going to walk away from today, just us, learning a bunch of new shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
and psyched because we're still doing it.
Yeah.
And it's just fun to have a little project because, I mean, look, we got into trying this because we didn't come in here being like, oh, bro, we need to get famous. We need to do something. We need to get rich. We need to make some money. This is like, bro, I mean, if it all goes super well, we're going to still be doing this from a fucking old man.
Hopefully,
and who gives a fuck where it's gone?
Yeah, exactly.
This doesn't cost us shit to do.
No, it doesn't.
You know what I mean? Even if we do buy a bunch of more equipment, still.
Yeah.
It's just something fun to do.
Yeah.
And it's like...
No, it's good. I remember what you said when we first started this. It's our information journey. And it's exactly what this is. So...
Yeah, because if we... I mean, that's the plan, is we do this for as long as ever possible, you know? And you and I, more than anybody else listening... is we're going to see the difference.
For sure.
In 10 years we might look back at these episodes and be like, who were we, man? Like, this is crazy. And now it's going to be awesome. Like, I think it's cool to...
also.
Literally, because... And for people like you and me, I think we do monitor ourselves a lot. Like, who we are. This is good in a way.
Well, we'll be on the internet forever. That's it. Even when we die, we'll be on the internet somewhere.
Yeah, true.
Who knows? Maybe...
Isn't that crazy that you're dead and this probably still be here?
Yeah, people will still...
Us when we were 20, I'm 22, you're what, 26 something?
No, bro, a bit older than
that. Okay.
Yeah, I'm 26. I was 26
I think
2 years
Tim
ago.
the other day told me how old you were. I was like,
Yeah,
Jesus
28.
Christ.
28, bro.
28?
Yeah, bro. I'm almost 30, bro.
What are you doing here?
I don't know. Alright, I'm going to get married and have kids now.
No, it's good though. It's we bring the spectrum.
That's it.
You know,
That's it.
the young, funny, likable guy, the older,
old fart.
grizzled fart. You know, I'm kidding. Fuck, I think it's the other way around. Honestly, you're a bit more.
gives a
You're a
shit.
bit more light than me. I'm a bit like space man. Fucking scary, dude.
Well, yeah, this was fun.
Yeah,
this
it's
was
good.
a fun episode.
I reckon
I'm happy
that's.
with
I
that.
reckon that's time.
Yeah, I'm happy with that.
Hey,
Hey, we're gonna have our music playing at the beginning and at the end.
it's probably gonna be fading in right now.
Yeah. Oh, can you hear it? Can you hear it?
I think we just. Anyway, guys, that was
Thanks for listening, guys.
episode 11, baby.
Yeah, episode 11 done and dusted. Check us out on social, like on different
platforms. Yeah, we're on the
podcast
iTunes,
platforms.
the Google.
Yeah, that's it.
Doesn't really matter if you don't go check it out, but
Yeah.
it's always cool to see if people are interested or not,
Mm.
because it kind of would guide our hand of how we go about stuff. Because I mean, we're obviously not going to stop what we're doing, but at the same time, it's cool to get involved. You know what I mean? So if
100%.
people were enthusiastic about being a part of this as well, that's even more cool. Because then it's like, you know,
'Cause then we
if
can get
someone
people-
sends us in something,
That's what
and
I
we
was
can go,
gonna
oh,
say.
sick, and then we look at it.
Oh, like, hey, can you do some research on this, or can we talk about this? Can we
You
talk about
guys
that?
should check out this or
Yeah,
whatever,
yeah,
and it's
yeah.
like,
So any inquiries, send us an email. Send us an email.
yeah,
Yeah, we'd be happy to.
yeah.
To go from there. That's it?
The email will be in the fucking
That's it. The email will be in the
SoundCloud.
fucking SoundCloud in the description.
Oh,
Alright,
all right, guys. Well, we'll catch you next time.
alright, so yeah.
See you later.
That was good.
Right on time.
What?